Greetings from Southern Yankee Homestead. This is your first time? Welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Well, the time has come. We finally are getting back into the garage and doing the insulation. Give you a little backstory. The last 2 weeks we've been reorganizing. So if you've never been here, this isn't going to make sense, but if you have been here before, then it's going to make a little more sense. So if you remember, we used to have shelving all along this wall and a bench down there underneath the Super Clean sign. Well, decided that the bench stuck out, and then when you're putting stuff on top of the bench, it sticks out further, it gets in the way, so we're trying to reorganize everything a little better. So if you look over my shoulder, we've moved the bench and all the shelving to the opposite wall by the door, furthest away from the big door. In the process, we've been cleaning out a lot of stuff. You know, let's see the tires there, got those for sale. There's a edger that's for sale in there, and I got a bunch of other stuff that's up on Marketplace right now. Just trying to clean out the stuff that we don't use, I'm not going to fix, or just don't need anymore. Along with that, garage is still a mess, so we're trying to organize. And part of that organization is one of the reasons why we're getting back to the insulation right now. We're going to build a mezzanine. If you don't know what a mezzanine is, we're basically going to build a deck, a 6-foot deck, 8 feet off the ground, that's supported by the building and on struts. But before I build that deck, I want to make sure that we have all the insulation in, or at least all the insulation I have left, which is right there. I got 6 sheets, which is enough to fill each of these bays, and a little bit extra, like 1 sheet extra that I'm going to have to cut down for the strips that go vertical. Because the sheets are 4 feet wide, the gaps are about 5 feet wide. Oops. And we might have to get a little bit more creative with it than that. But as far as this slab goes, if you notice, we poured the slab after we had the building. So we used the slab to determine, or we used the building to determine our slab size and whatnot. Instead of building a slab and setting it on it, this is just on very well compacted ground. Well, the downside, as you see right here, we've had crabgrass grow up. Now, here we are well over 2 years into it. I've got most of this insulation on. If I'd known that I was going to have that problem, I would have done this next step previously. And that step, if you notice, all the way down in there, I've got spray foam on that bottom lip to help create a barrier. I've got to add some more spray foam because, well, yeah. See the light there? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and fill in all that light. For insulation foam, we're using window and door, and I basically grabbed the cheapest that was in that section. So I didn't use great stuff, because the great stuff, window and door, was about $3 a can more. This is $6 a can, the great stuff was $9 for the same size. Now, if you've never used this stuff before, I would highly recommend spending the money and getting some disposable gloves. I just happened to purchase, mechanics gloves, black nitro gloves for multiple things. They work, I have them. The reason being, this stuff is good, but this stuff can be messy. Now, before I continue on, I need to go ahead and clean up some of these because, well, they're soft to the touch, but they're not completely set up yet. If you notice, I didn't do all of them here, only the ones by the window. Most of these rails go the full length, and then there's air gaps between them. So that will hopefully allow the moisture to get out of there. Alright, so a couple of days ago I went ahead and I had to fill in this wall, finish this out because I was putting the shelf in over here. Well, went down back, I just happened to have this lovely piece here that fits pretty dang good. She's going to be tight, which is fine. Actually, we're going to go like this because she's a little long. Oops. Alright, so we're going to go right there. It's a little long, but it's already got the bevel on it for the roof angle. So that's going to work perfectly. Oh, a lovely brown recluse up there. Yeah, you're short for this world, sorry. Now, there's been several ways I've tried to cut this. For the big sheets, it was really nice using the table saw, but unfortunately, that foam got into the motor and burned up the table saw. So if you're cutting foam with a table saw, just know that you probably should get a cheap one because, well, you're gonna kill it. And that's being polite. And this is messy. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing it outside the garage. It is very, very messy. Don't have a really good straight edge on this, but we'll just go with what we got and trim accordingly. See, told you, messy, messy, messy. Now, as far as how I'm attaching these panels, I found that the easiest way is the double-sided foam sticky tape. This does a couple things for me. If you saw the Q&A video I did, then you know that the original idea that I had, which was to use spray adhesive, failed epically. Spray adhesive does not work well with foam insulation. But the other side, and people have always been concerned, is about the moisture that can collect on the back side of this and the fact that you need airflow. Well, if I can reach y'all, I stick it to the building and I leave a gap on either end. These longer panels, I'll leave a longer gap. That will allow air to flow behind and around and all through it, so any moisture that is in there can eventually get out. So no matter how tight you push that in there, you're still going to have an air gap behind it. So that ta-da! Alright, change of plans. Looks like I gotta go to the store. This brand new package of tape that I got is not... Basically, the strip that you're supposed to pull off after you stick it is sticking to it, and I can't get it to separate, even though I'm trying. So apparently I've waited too long. So this is whatever I spent for it back in the day, garbage, because, well, I can't use it, which sucks. Alright, I'm back from the store. Besides buying way too much stuff for what we're doing right at the moment, I spent way too much money, but besides the fact, I ended up getting this type of tape because the stuff that I was using, even though it's half the cost, was unavailable without running another 20 miles to go get it, which by the time I run out to the other city and the other Lowe's to pick that up and then get back here to do it, it would have taken me 2 more hours to go out there and get that. That's not worth it. We're just gonna see how this other stuff works. So. You. Alright, you get the idea. Battery's about dead in the camera, and I gotta move some stuff out of the corner over here so that I can get this last half panel in and resecure that panel. Alright, changed my mind on doing the time lapse. I ended up having to move this one panel over here so that I could utilize less material, because when it's over here I don't have enough material to go this full length anymore. But I do have several smaller 4-foot panels that can be cut. I was a little off on the length of that one. Oh well. It's in there. It ain't going anywhere. We'll fill that with something, I'm sure. Ooh. Yeah. Like foam. Huh. Alright, anyhow. And in case you're wondering, I was able to salvage this other foam strip, which worked out good because I used up what I had. The red stuff is gone. Just drop it in the pocket for now. Which is fine. This stuff has about half the holding, weight bearing capacity. It's only rated for 15 pounds. The stuff I was using before is rated for 30 pounds. All right, moment of truth. That went in nicely there. I'm tapping because I'm standing on the top of a tall A-frame ladder. I do not feel like pushing myself off the ladder. Let's see if we can finally finish this up. God, it's taking forever. Don't you know? We got what was available again. $15 or $30. I prefer to use the 15-pound. It's easier to peel off. It's only holding up insulation anyways. But since we can't get that right now, we'll use the 30-pound. I think, by golly, we're done with insulation for now. I do believe so, yes. Yes, we are. And with that piece, we're done with insulation for the, well, near future. We do have, where is it here? Right there. We have that piece left to do, but we're going to go ahead and put our mezzanine or our shelf, our deck, I guess, back here, and come back and do that at a later time because, well, I don't want to break out that ladder to get up there because it's need to put some pressure on it and whatnot. And that ladder over there is a little bit short and it's uncomfortable to stand on at that height because I almost have to be at the top of the rung, and then you start pushing on things. Next thing you know, you're coming down. It hurts a lot. So we're going to skip that whole thing. But what I think we are going to do is we're going to start with getting a cleanup done in here because I've been tracking in and out, and a cleanup outside because it looks like it snowed out here between Hun combing the dog and me cutting insulation. It's very fluffy. Yeah. So let me get a cleanup going, and then we will be on to the next step, which is lumber.